Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Samuel Legge here, representing Team JVS, back here again to give you guys another movie review. This is a movie coming for Netflix. It's about an hour and 47 minutes roughly. This is directed by Joseph Kosinski and is starring Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, and the amazing Jurnee Smollett. Spiderhead. So Spiderhead, it centers around a facility, state-of-the-art, that houses, you don't know, people that have done crimes, no matter how heinous, no matter how small. They originally were supposed to be in actual prison, but instead they're opted and allowed to be a part of this facility that is a testing facility. It is to narrow down certain drugs to figure out how they can prevent certain crimes from happening, how to make sure people's mental state is maintained. And Chris Hemsworth's character is basically the overseer of this, as well as another character that plays, his name is Mark. And they kind of oversee not just the prisoners, but the way that the drugs are being administered, the different testing and the trials, and they're allowed to do all this. Whereas Miles Teller, among Joseph Smollett and among other people, are actual inmates, but they're allowed a little bit of freedom. They're allowed to kind of have like opportunities to eat what they want, or sleep as long as they want, or do certain things. They're allowed a certain amount of liberties. They kind of have certain freedoms, so to speak. But freedom, as you all know, comes with the cost. And what did I think about the film as a whole? I think it was very interesting. The premise itself is very fascinating, and I didn't know how far it was going to go. This is a hard R. They definitely, by the end of the movie, you're kind of left like, man, this was rough. This is really rough, because from a tone standpoint, you don't really know what kind of film this is. You don't know if this is like, a science-based thing. You don't know if it's like an experiment where they're trying to figure out what's the best thing. And you're not going to figure it out until like the midway point when certain things start to happen. And you start to see where goals are lying. I think I like the story. The story itself is pretty interesting. The first two acts, I was kind of like, I didn't know how dark they were going to go from a tonal standpoint. Also, the actors in it. I think that Chris Hemsworth is owning this character. He's all the way immersed himself into, the importance of the character. I do think towards the last few scenes, they go a little over the top. And I think that's where the movie kind of deflates a little bit, specifically in the last 10 minutes. It just kind of like, well, we just got to end this and wrap this up, versus let's come up with a real clear, concise ending. Like, I'll give you an example. So, Ex Machina, right? Alicia Vikander, like that ending in and of itself, it could have been like really abrupt and quick, but no, they thought like methodically how they're going to end it. And I think that this movie, if the ending was very different, it would be high up there as far as my ratings of best movies this year. I think that the way that they shot the film, it was nothing like special necessarily. I do think that the central focus on the characters is the most important thing, allowing the characters to actually act off of nothing, because these drugs are doing and administering things and bringing out emotions that on a dime that these actors have to be able to pull those out. Whether it's like a drug that's feeling like atmospheric and you feel euphoria, you're looking at atmosphere, they have to be on a dime to be able to do it. Or you're feeling immediate loss and pain or maybe fear or phobia, like these actors. The thing about this that makes it work is allowing the actors to feed off of the circumstance that they're in. Like if it's like, oh, okay, wait, I know I'm about to get administered this. I don't want to act out of character. I don't want to do this and it be a situation. Also, everybody that's doing these things they're having to say, I acknowledge that I'm willing to have this administered to me, kind of thing. And every time that it happens, you don't know what the result's going to be, because this is a part of the test that, the two co-leads are doing. As far as Miles Teller in this and Jurnee, I love their characters. I love their chemistry. I rallied behind them, really. I think the more fascinating thing is, when you start to figure out who they are, like who they really actually are. The problem with them is they're not the issue. It's more so everybody else around them. I felt like they needed other actors to play off of them to make this more compelling. Because yeah, there are dangerous characters in there. There's interesting characters in there, but they kind of come off as runoffs. It don't work for the whole of this. And it's weird because if they had like a little bit more, you know, from the atmosphere standpoint, or using other characters for more, then it maybe would took focus off of Miles and Journey. But I think that with this kind of concept, when you have like stuff happening and it's really like jarring in the sense of like, oh man, this is bad. I can't believe this is happening to somebody. You know, I think that that's where you have other actors to showcase, you know, in situations. I think that's really that in the ending make this movie not where it really could be. I rate this at like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. It's closer to a 6.5 because I really feel like this could have went some other places. And I think that the performances are great. I think that the premise in the background is great. It's just the execution towards the end, and as well as the lack of like other actors like putting it there. Now, I'm not saying that Chris is not pulling it. I'm not saying Miles isn't pulling it. I'm not saying Journey's not. They are doing a great job in this, and they work off each other very well. But you start to see a lacking of certain other things in the middle of it, just because I think that this subject matter pull for like more great performances. But let me know what you guys think of Spiderhead. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. I'll talk to you guys much later, and we got a lot more reviews coming because we are currently in the middle of Tribeca 2022. All right, guys. Peace, everybody.